You won't believe this. Some of the most beloved stars in Hollywood look almost unrecognizable today. For decades, we admired their natural beauty, their charm, and the magic they brought to the screen. But behind the glitz and glamour, many of them faced relentless pressure to stay young and perfect. Some turned to plastic surgery in search of eternal youth, and the results were shocking. From icons who lost their natural charm to bold stars who embraced transformation as a lifestyle, these stories will leave you stunned. Stay tuned, because what you're about to see will change the way you look at fame forever. Let's begin with one of Hollywood's most heartbreaking transformations, Meg Ryan. Back in the 1980s and 90s, Meg wasn't just a movie star, she was America's sweetheart. Films like When Harry Met Sally and Sleepless in Seattle made her the ultimate symbol of charm, innocence, and natural beauty. Her expressions were warm, her smile effortless, and her face seemed to radiate honesty. To millions of fans, Meg Ryan wasn't simply acting in romantic comedies, she was the very spirit of them. But Hollywood is relentless. By the early 2000s, as Meg reached her 40s, the pressure to maintain a youthful appearance grew impossible to ignore. In an industry where even the smallest wrinkle can cost you leading roles, she turned to cosmetic procedures that promised quick results. Reports suggest a combination of Botox injections and dermal fillers technologies designed to freeze muscles and plump the skin. For context, Botox works by temporarily paralyzing small facial muscles, smoothing out lines. Fillers, on the other hand, inject substances like hyaluronic acid to restore lost volume. Used carefully, these tools can refresh the face without anyone noticing. But overuse or misplacement often has the opposite effect, creating stiffness or swelling that distorts natural features. And that's where Meg's tragedy begins. Her once animated face appeared unnaturally smooth, her cheeks overly filled, and her expressions muted. Fans who had grown up with her vibrant, expressive acting suddenly felt they didn't recognize her anymore. Critics were harsh headlines, cruel. Instead of applause, Meg faced ridicule, and she never publicly addressed the changes. Her silence made the transformation even more haunting. Unlike some stars who turned surgery into part of their identity, Meg seemed to vanish from the spotlight. The woman whose expressions once defined an era of romance was left with a mask that couldn't fully capture emotion. Meg Ryan's story isn't about vanity, it's about how Hollywood's obsession with youth can rob even the brightest stars of their essence. And sadly, she's far from the only one. If Meg Ryan's story was about subtle changes gone wrong, Jocelyn Wildenstein's transformation was the complete opposite, bold, extreme, and impossible to ignore. Jocelyn, once a glamorous socialite in New York's high society, became world famous not for her wealth, but for the way she reshaped her appearance. Tabloids dubbed her the Catwoman, a nickname that stuck because of her sharp cheekbones, stretched eyes, and feline-like features. Unlike other celebrities who sought only to look younger, Jocelyn reportedly pursued a very specific goal to look more like a cat, a passion shared with her then-husband, a billionaire art dealer who loved exotic animals. To achieve this, she is believed to have undergone multiple facelifts, eyelid surgeries, lip enhancements, and extensive use of dermal fillers. Here's how these procedures work. Facelifts tighten sagging skin by pulling facial tissue upward, creating sharper lines. Blepharoplasty, or eyelid surgery, changes the shape of the eyes by removing or repositioning fat and skin. Fillers can exaggerate cheekbones and lips, giving the face a sculpted, almost artificial contour. When combined and repeated over time, the result can become dramatically unnatural. And that's exactly what happened with Jocelyn. As her features grew more exaggerated, the media reaction was brutal. Headlines mocked her late-night shows, turned her into a punchline, and she became one of the most infamous examples of surgery gone too far. But here's the twist: Jocelyn never apologized. Unlike Meg Ryan, who retreated into silence, Jocelyn openly embraced her transformation. She has said she doesn't regret her choices, for her beauty was a personal expression, almost like performance art. Her story reminds us that cosmetic surgery isn't always about chasing youth. Sometimes it becomes a radical reinvention and artistic statement, whether the world approves or not. While Jocelyn Wildenstein embraced transformation as an art form, Tara Reid's story was far more tragic, a young star whose career was derailed by surgeries gone wrong. In the late 1990s and early 2000s, Tara was everywhere. With roles in American Pie and Van Wilder, she was the quintessential blonde starlet, famous for her bubbly personality and girl-next-door looks. But as the Hollywood spotlight grew brighter, so did the pressure to maintain a flawless body image. Seeking quick improvements, Tara reportedly underwent breast augmentation and liposuction. On paper, these procedures sound straightforward. Breast implants enhance size and shape using silicone or saline devices, while liposuction removes unwanted fat through suction tubes. Both surgeries, when performed carefully, can deliver subtle natural results. But Tara's results were anything but subtle. Her implants appeared uneven, and the liposuction left her stomach with visible irregularities and depressions. These flaws became shockingly public after paparazzi photos circulated with Tara herself, admitting in interviews that she was embarrassed by the outcomes. The impact was devastating. Instead of red carpet praise, she faced ridicule and tabloid mockery. Casting directors grew hesitant, and roles that once came easily began to disappear. Tara spoke candidly about her experiences, acknowledging the botched surgeries and how they shattered her confidence. Her story illustrates another harsh truth about cosmetic technology. While it promises perfection, outcomes depend heavily on surgical skill and aftercare. One mistake can be magnified under the unforgiving glare of celebrity culture. Unlike Jocelyn, who embraced her look, or Meg, who remained silent, Tara Reid was forced into the painful position of explaining her choices publicly. Her journey serves as a cautionary tale, not about chasing youth, but about the real risks of flawed procedures in an industry obsessed with appearances. If Tara Reid's story showed how botched surgery can destroy confidence, Donatella Versace's journey represents something very different: the use of surgery as a tool to build an unmistakable, almost trademarked image. As the sister of Gianni Versace and the creative force behind the Versace fashion empire, Donatella has always been at the center of luxury excess and glamour. But over the years, her face and appearance have undergone dramatic changes to the point where her look itself has become as recognizable as the Versace brand. Reports suggest that Donatella relied heavily on Botox dermal fillers and possibly laser resurfacing. Botox, as explained earlier, relaxes facial muscles to smooth lines. Fillers restore lost volume, but when used generously, they can exaggerate features like lips and cheeks. Laser resurfacing, on the other hand, removes damaged outer layers of skin, promoting new collagen growth and creating a smoother, more youthful texture. Combined, these technologies can refresh the face, but when repeated or pushed too far, the results shift from subtle enhancement to striking alteration. And for Donatella, that shift became her reality. Her lips grew dramatically fuller, her cheeks more sculpted, and her skin acquired a taut, almost waxy sheen. Unlike Tara Reid, who mourned her results, Donatella embraced hers, transforming into a living symbol of her own fashion empire. In her world, standing out was more important than blending in. The public reaction has been divided. Critics see her as an example of excess, while supporters argue that her appearance reflects the bold, unapologetic spirit of Versace itself. Ultimately, Donatella Versace's transformation isn't about mistakes or regrets. It's about power branding and the extremes of beauty culture in the fashion industry, where looking ordinary is never an option. While Donatella Versace used surgery to craft an unmistakable identity, Cher represents a different path, the rare case where cosmetic enhancements seem to work in harmony with stardom. From the 1960s onward, Cher reinvented herself again and again, from folk singer to disco queen, from Oscar-winning actress to global icon. But her ability to transform wasn't just about music or fashion. She also embraced cosmetic surgery early at a time when few celebrities admitted to it. Cher has been open about some of her choices, including rhinoplasty, breast augmentation, and dental work. Rhinoplasty, or nose reshaping, refines the nasal bridge and tip to create balance in facial proportions. Breast augmentation, as seen earlier, uses implants to enhance shape and symmetry. Beyond those, it's widely believed that Cher has relied on maintenance procedures like Botox and minor lifts, small, careful adjustments, rather than radical overhauls. What makes her case stand out is control. Instead of chasing extreme youth or shocking reinvention, Cher used these technologies as tools to support her evolving image. Botox smoothed her expressions without freezing them. Subtle lifts refreshed her features without erasing her identity. Unlike many of her peers, Cher didn't disappear behind a mask of surgery. She used it to stay visible, relevant, and powerful in an industry that often sidelines women after a certain age. Public reaction reflects this difference. While some critics accuse her of being too artificial, many admire how she has managed to remain glamorous for decades without losing the essence of Cher. Her choices illustrate the potential of cosmetic technology. When applied with restraint, it doesn't have to erase the past. It can preserve it. Cher's transformation isn't a cautionary tale, but a testament to balanced strategy and the art of staying timeless. If Cher's story showed how cosmetic surgery can preserve stardom with balance, Simon Cowell's journey is a reminder of what happens when those same tools are pushed too far. Known worldwide as the sharp-tongued judge of American Idol and The X Factor, Simon built his image on confidence and authority. But in the 2010s, fans began noticing dramatic changes in his face. His skin looked unnaturally smooth, his cheeks unusually plump, and his once expressive features appeared frozen. Simon has admitted to using non-surgical cosmetic treatments, primarily Botox and dermal fillers. Botox, as explained earlier, paralyzes facial muscles to reduce wrinkles. Fillers restore lost volume, especially around the cheeks and jawline. When done subtly, these treatments can freshen up appearances without anyone noticing. But Simon's case illustrates the risk of overuse. Too much Botox can erase natural movement, while excessive fillers can distort facial proportions, creating an almost plastic look. The backlash was immediate. Viewers, tabloids, and even colleagues commented that he looked unrecognizable. Instead of projecting authority, his new appearance became a distraction. For a man whose career relied on commanding presence, the irony was sharp cosmetic enhancements designed to maintain youth had undermined his credibility. Eventually, Simon admitted that he had gone too far. In later interviews, he revealed that he had scaled back on treatments and even had fillers dissolved, a process where enzymes break down the injected material to restore natural contours. His more recent appearances show a softer, more authentic version of himself. Simon Cowell's transformation is unique because it includes a rare reversal. Unlike others who live with their results, he recognized the damage-adjusted course and turned his story into a cautionary lesson. Sometimes less really is more. After Simon Cowell admitted to pulling back from cosmetic treatments, we turn to a very different story: Lindsay Lohan, a star who faced the pressure of transformation far too early in her career. Lindsay rose to fame as a child actress in The Parent Trap and quickly became one of Hollywood's brightest young talents. By the early 2000s, with films like Mean Girls, she wasn't just an actress, She was a cultural phenomenon, celebrated for her natural beauty freckles and youthful charm. But as she entered her 20s, the pressures of fame, relentless paparazzi attention, and Hollywood's obsession with perfection began to take their toll. Unlike older stars who turned to surgery later in life, Lindsay reportedly experimented with cosmetic procedures while still very young. Most notably, she appeared to use lip fillers and facial injections. Lip fillers, often made of hyaluronic acid, plump the lips by adding volume. When applied subtly, they can enhance natural shape. But overuse or poor technique can create swelling asymmetry and a look that feels out of place, especially on someone still so young. Facial fillers, too, can blur natural contours if not balanced carefully.